Hi guys, so today I am driving the Hyundai Tucson. Alright, so this updated version of the Tucson, right, comes with two engine choices. You have the 2-liter version that I'm driving here, that goes for 123,000 ringgit, or you can spend an extra 20,000 ringgit and go for the more powerful 1.6 liter turbo. Previously, there was also a diesel version that has since been discontinued. Alright, they also had a 2-liter all-wheel drive model that's also no longer on the table. So the Tucson now comes standard with front-wheel drive, in which the case of this 2-liter model is perfectly acceptable because the outputs of this engine is not exactly great anyway. So you don't need to have all-wheel drive to spread the traction. The driving experience of this car, I would say that it is a pleasant surprise, right? For one, right, if you go back 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Korean cars are generally, well, a drag to drive, and their engines utterly lack refinement. But the Tucson here does not feel that way. It feels like a very well put together, very well screwed together car. All right, the ride, even though the 2-liter model here runs on standard suspension versus, well, a higher grade suspension of the 1.6 turbo, it's comfortable enough, handling feels competent enough, steering weight feels right in the sense that, well, it's not a very quick steering, but neither does it feel over assisted, and it is of just the right weight that it does not feel cumbersome to drive on urban roads. Okay, so the overall driving experience, I would say, is pretty positive, very pleasantly surprised, right? Not outright sporty, but everything just feels tight and nice. The engine, well, if you compare this with the 1.6 turbo, which I only reviewed in its pre-facelift format, there is a performance deficit, all right, but this 2-liter does not feel underpowered at all. So it does not feel heavy and sluggish. It's a willing engine, all right, not enthusiastic perhaps, but it is willing and smooth enough to rev. So it is hard driving this engine, getting it to speed. It is hardly a chore. So the overall driving characteristics of the Tucson, I would say, it's not sporty. Okay, it does not appeal to the sporty crowd, but it's pleasant enough that you won't mind using this on a day-to-day basis. Alright guys, so this is the exterior of the facelifted Tucson, and you can see they made some cosmetic changes to the nose, particularly here with the lighting, where they now have this L-shaped LED daytime running lights here. Up here, headlamps are halogen, but you also get this LED position lamp as well. All right, so the lighting signature of this is very Audi-ish, okay, and it actually, for a halogen headlamp, a low spec headlamp, this actually looks not bad. All right, looks pretty good. And yeah, so it is to me, this is a very presentable, very respectable looking front. All right, and the grille patterns are nice too. Okay, it's this this diamond shaped grille patterns, rather nice looking. I believe the 1.6 turbo, it has this horizontal slats across, chrome horizontal slats across, but this to me looks rather nice. Okay, come out to the side, you can see 17-inch alloy wheels. All right, both the 1.6 turbo and the 2-liter model here gets 17-inch wheels, but design's different. And so you can see from here the profile of the Tucson, very clean cut, right? Got some character lines here and here, but overall this is a handsome looking SUV. Okay, and you come to here. All right, No keyless entry. I think for this price range, no keyless entry today, this day and age, tak boleh lah, tak boleh. Okay, and check this out. The it is a key start, all right, not, it's a barrel type key start, no push start button, but to me it's okay. You really don't give keyless entry, there is really no point to put a push start button. But let's look at the rest of the exterior first. All right, you come to the back here, the tail lights are bulb illuminated, fine, no biggie. All right, get a reverse camera here, we'll examine the resolution of this later. All right, so here from the back, once again, a very clean looking design, nice and neat. Yep, just the right mix of curves. All right, and at the same time it looks pleasing to the eyes. All right, okay, so we open the boot. All right, of course, no powered lifting, everything is manual. Well, some markets would probably presumably have powered opening and closing, but that's fine, no big deal. All right, this one, a retractable tonneau cover here, okay, which you can see from these slots here can be located in two different positions. So you can move this tonneau cover back. That would allow you to recline the rear seats slightly further back, or if you want to stow the tonneau cover away, this is a rather ingenious solution, so you can slot it here as well. Okay, I think this is a local addition. This mat here is a local addition. The fitment doesn't seem entirely convincing. All right, and or you can lift this underside here as well. Is well, it's a full-size spare tire. All right, alloy wheel too at that. And here, if you lift this up, okay, you can see this is also another spot to put the tonneau cover. Okay, well, this is rather tight, huh? And these are, I think, hooks for cargo nets, right? So here as well, this seems like a hanging hook. Okay, 12-volt socket here, right? So there's a hanging hook here and here. This presumably works in concert with the one below for you to fix a cargo net of some sort. All right, the seats there split fold 60/40, but let's try out the, to relocate the tonneau cover. All right. So this is one place to put the tonneau cover, right? Okay. You can also stow it down here. This one also can be used to stow your tonneau cover, but it's not accessible because the full-size spare tire here interferes with the installation. All right, but I would say for this the Tucson here, Hyundai has paid exceptional attention in providing you with multiple possible options to locate your tonneau cover. All right, let's step inside. Okay, from here you can see a relatively simple cabin, right? Looks like good leg room, which we'll examine later. This is quite obviously, well, deleted rear aircon vents that were meant to be there in higher spec models, but deleted here entirely. Okay, so seats offer 60/40 split folding, but where do you fold them? Here, right? So you lift this lever and the seat topples down. The floor is relatively flat. Okay, so you can carry bulky items here without them rocking about. All right, and so when you topple it down, the seats actually lock in place. So I guess so. You just lift this up. All right, and close the seat. All right, you can step inside. All right, once you step inside, it also has recline adjustment, so you can recline your seats all the way back here. All right, to rest and relax on a long distance journey, or you can raise it partly. This is a more upright seating position. Leg room is good. All right, and Okay, so you have very basic rear armrest here, all right, with two simple molded cup holders. 3-point belt for middle passenger is the type where it drops from the roof, so you have to pull one buckle down to here and buckle the other one here. All right. Yep, relatively spacious. You've got coat hangers here and there, very European thing. So overall, relatively spacious rear section of the cabin, but nothing much here to play with. All right. Now, guys, let's look more closely to the B pillar. See this? There is no airbag label here. Yeah. So the Tucson comes with, yes, 2 airbags for the 2-liter model. You'll need to pay that 20,000 ringgit premium for the 1.6 turbo in order to enjoy the security of 6 airbags. Alright, so we step inside to the car, and what we see here, a very uniform sea of gray materials of various textures and quality. So we look at the door first. All right, other than this red reflector and this, well, matte silver door handle, everything else is various shades of dark gray and some black right there. And you can see here, right, there are actually several layers to this door itself. All right, this is hard plastic, another grade of hard plastic, a slightly different texture. This is a nice, very softer, softer to the touch grade of leather here, which is nice because this is where you rest your arm. Okay, so all these very uniform in color. The design, well, looks very, very monotone. The door bin length is actually rather good. All right, so you can chuck quite a bit of items in there. Same story in the cabin. All right, so other than all these silver surrounds here, all right, and here, the rest of it is all various shades of black and dark gray. So we start the car. All right, we go inside, and here we have the old-fashioned key, and we come in. So well, the instrument cluster here it's an old-fashioned, but it is one that I appreciate for its clarity, a nice 2-dial design. You get a center screen, all right, a trip computer screen in there, which you cycle through various functions that you get here, and you get to adjust various user settings as well. Okay, you come here, you get a touch screen, a proper touch screen. All right, so the response of the touchscreen is good, and yeah, so you do have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which is a surprise to me, considering the kind of things that this car does without. It also has a reverse camera. Let's check out the resolution. So you can see that it has guidelines. All right, so when you turn the steering wheel, it has the lines turn as well. All right, but the resolution really is so only lah. Still good that it's even there. Appreciate that. This whole area actually has been redesigned. The pre-facelift model, the center screen is integrated into the dash, and the vents are either side of the screen. Here the screen adopts a freestanding design above the aircon vents, which I feel is a better design, right? Certainly you don't have a vent here that blows an inordinate amount of cold air to the driver's hand. So you come down, manual climate control. You get two 12-volt sockets, but it's just that most people these days don't use 12-volt sockets in cars as much as they do USB ports. All right, this tray here is good, it's nicely sized. I like this. Come to the back here. You got hill descent control, and accompanied by 3 blank buttons. A mechanical handbrake, interestingly enough, for the Tucson. One way which they differentiate between high and low spec Tucsons. Low spec cars get a mechanical parking brake, high spec cars electronic parking brake. Why they do that, I don't understand. This is because it's not just a different parking brake, the whole center console is different. So yeah, why did they want to expend that extra cost to create this entirely unnecessary variation? They could have just used either standardized either the mechanical parking brake for both or electronic parking brake for both. Yeah. So of course, as traditional minded enthusiasts, we prefer the mechanical parking brake, but it does have one disadvantage in the sense that the mechanism eats into this storage bay here. So you can see, right, this is entirely unusable space because of the handbrake's mechanism. All right, that's the glove box there, and as you can see here, this is a surprisingly soft texture plastic, soft touch, nice. This is some, well, fake carbon fiber panel here. This is hard plastic, all right, no surprise there, but the cabin in general feels solid, feels well put together. I just wish that they had varied the color scheme of the dashboard a little, give it a bit more variety, a bit more a bit more character, a bit more layering, right? Certainly, or there are three grades of materials here, three different types of materials here, all featuring thereabouts the same color. I think this is a waste. This they could have been more ambitious with their color selection right here. Okay, so the Tucson, it is a pleasant enough vehicle to drive, right? There is a performance deficit versus the 1.6 turbo, but it still offers enough that it is far from an unpleasant experience. But what is really lacking in this car, and to the degree that it is actually worthwhile to shell out that 20,000 ringgit premium for the 1.6 turbo, is actually on the equipment front, or shall we say the lack of it. Because to be honest, some of the equipment that they deleted from this model in order to bring its price down is really not acceptable at this price range. I mean, I think it is okay to not have LED headlights. It is okay to not have electronic parking brake, which honestly I prefer. All right, it is okay to not have automatic climate control, but what is not okay is at 120,000 ringgit, you don't have keyless entry. You don't even have side and curtain airbags at this price range, which for me is unacceptable, especially not when a HRV gives you more. A CRV, even at base spec, gives you more. A Proton X70, well, a Proton X70 is a Proton X70 lah, loads you with bells and whistles for the same price point. So how do you justify spending 120,000 ringgit on a car that does not even have as many airbags as a Myvi, right? So the Tucson is a crossover with many virtues. All right, there are many things about this vehicle that I like, but the equipment levels of this 2-liter model is frankly not what I expect of this price range. It should come with more. I would much rather they tick a few extra boxes on the equipment list and raise the price rather than keep the price down and spec out so many items as we see here. So my verdict is this: if you are, the Tucson is a car that is a good car, all right, it's an okay car, but if you really like it, just go for the 1.6 turbo. End of story.